Shemai, Sitachi, Croeso Chris, Dowie. What is cracking, ladies, gents, boys, girls, anybody who is anyone? Today we are talking about the GTA Trilogy, namely whether or not it is worth your hard-earned money. Now, I am late to the party, and I don't mean just late. I missed the last train home, I had to walk home, and then I realized I walked in the wrong direction. I'm about 400 years late to this. But, you know, I've had a lot of time now with the trilogy itself, and I've gotten to see what it's like. I've gotten to see whether or not, you know, I think it's worth it, or if I don't think it's worth it. So here I am, having a chat with you guys. So the trilogy is out now for all platforms: Switch, PlayStation, Xbox and PC. I think it's coming out physically when I release this video, because I'm going to release this video out of schedule just because it's been playing on my mind for a bit, so I'm going to release it when it becomes available for physical editions in the UK at least. And with Christmas coming up, I think, you know, if you sat there thinking, do I buy this game for myself or a loved one, I think maybe you could save a bit of money, maybe you could spend some money wisely. It's hopefully this video is going to help you in some way, shape or form. And the elephant in the room, obviously this game has been involved in a fair bit of controversy with it being sort of a bit meh. And you know, I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring. I'm gonna chuck in my 2p, and I'm gonna hopefully provide a different perspective, or maybe just a different outlook. So the elephant in the room, is this a remaster or maybe a demaster? And then it's gonna depend. The new art style, in my opinion, doesn't always fit the theme. I've always viewed GTA as being a bit of a dark, satirical take on the world around them, and I've always enjoyed the graphics that came along with the original Vice City, the original GTA 3 and the original San Andreas. And that's something you're going to see in Vice City. Well, in the remaster, everybody has an emoji face. They all look like emojis, and it's all bright, it's all vibrant, it's all lovely, it's all nice. And to be honest, you're not going to really pay much attention to it when you're doing missions, when you're driving around, when you're just enjoying Vice City itself. And that applies to all three remasters. You're not really going to notice how awful somebody's faces look when you're actually playing the game. When you're driving around, when you're running around, when you're shooting stuff, you're not really looking at their faces. And yeah, you might notice a character model looks a bit weird as you're driving past. You might stop, you might look at them, but by and large you're not going to be paying much attention. Then you got the overall look of the game, and generally speaking it does look quite nice. It looks quite remastered, I suppose. It feels like a texture mod or something like that. That's what I've heard, that's what I've seen posted around on the internet. It's just old GTAs with a texture mod. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It probably is, let's be real. But it looks kind of nice. It does look quite nice. New features then, we got the weapon wheel from GTA 5, and then we got the radio wheel from GTA 5, which does make it is an improvement. To be fair, it is an improvement, especially with the older GTAs where you have to tap to get the weapon you want. At least this way you can just flick to the weapon you want. It's a nice change. So I suppose all in all, it does look remastered, but it feels like a change in art style. It might not fit all of the time. I mean, Vice City is beautiful, Liberty City is nice, gloomy, quite depressing, but in a bittersweet kind of way. And San Andreas is, well, if you played San Andreas growing up, it's going to be like going back to the olden days. It is a nice return to home, I suppose. So gameplay and glitches. Now I play on the Switch because I thought, well, on the Switch you've mostly got family friendly games, and if you go on the eShop it's 100% shovelware and dodgy hentai looking games. So I was like, let's run some people over. So I got the GTA Trilogy on the Switch, and generally speaking it plays okay. The graphics look okay for a Switch. I didn't expect them to be much more. I didn't expect them to be much less. My expectations, I suppose, were quite low. The game doesn't look like GTA 5, but it's a Switch. What can you expect? On a console, on PC, then that's going to be a different story. I think the graphics, generally speaking, they could have done more for consoles and PC. They really could have done a bit more. It feels a bit half-assed in that sense. But, you know, it is just graphical. Glitches wise, I haven't found very many at all on the Switch. In fact, I can't remember encountering any glitches on the Switch. I think you get the odd one where something weird happens, like you go through a mission and an NPC hasn't followed you out of a building, so you have to restart, but nothing game breaking. San Andreas, I only played it for this video for about 10 minutes. I was waiting to play that last because it's pretty much my favorite GTA. That played fine. I didn't really meet any glitches there. Vice City, none that really ruined my gameplay experience. Same with GTA 3. All three experiences were pretty solid in my personal experience. Gameplay, it's a little bit different. I think it's going to take some time to get used to the driving in these games. If you come straight from GTA 5, it feels a bit jankier, you know. Your car feels like it's weighted on top, so if you get any sort of airtime, your car will just flip onto its back. But then you can't actually flip it back over, which is really annoying when we've got the radial menus for the weapons and radios. You'd think they'd give us an option to flip our cars, but no, you just got to run away and let them blow up. It's bittersweet. It's just annoying, to be honest. And that's the thing about the driving. Vice City especially, that's the one I've spent the most time with. It feels like you're going to catch cars on their hitboxes, which feel a bit bigger than the car itself, so sometimes it's hard to just squidge past them. It's quite annoying, quite frustrating at times. And although you can sort of get into the hang of it, it feels like there's a learning curve that's just quite annoying. It's just an annoying learning curve to be able to drive and get used to the controls. You know, it's not bad, it's not going to ruin your experience, but it is different to GTA 5. When it comes down to shooting, you have like auto aim assist. That's the thing. That's the thing about Warzone, man. You have aim assist that lets you snap onto enemies. It is what it is. You know, shooting's fairly easy, combat's fairly easy. It's all very straightforward. All in all, the gameplay is it's okay, it's fun, it's decent. You're not going to find it really awkward. On the Switch, when you want to sprint, you have to tap the B button and then it doesn't immediately register. That's quite annoying, but there isn't an input delay that I've noticed. It plays as it should. It's not a difficult game to play. However, on consoles it might be different, and then on PC again it might be different. But for the Switch, it plays quite well. And considering the Switch's game library, you know, the GTA Trilogy fits in there quite nicely. It's like a nice little spot and it fills it out quite well. I'm quite happy with it on the Switch. But the key word there is the Switch. If you only have maybe a PlayStation or an Xbox, maybe you're just looking at playing something on PC, I'm honestly going to say maybe wait for this game to go on sale. And I do believe it's going to go on a harsh sale at some point, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really provide that much. You know, with the Switch, you got the whole thing where it just pads out the game library. With the PS5, PS4, with the new Xbox or the regular Xbox, with PC, I absolutely butchered that. I don't play Xbox, it goes to show. With consoles and PC, what you're going to find is that these games don't really add that much, in all honesty. And I do believe they will go on a harsh sale at some point. And looking back, they've just taken off Vice City, GTA 3 and San Andreas from the online shops to push this remaster, and I don't know how I feel about that personally. It is very easy for me to say this is really good, this is worth it, because I'm playing on Switch right now, and for me on Switch it's either GTA or Animal Crossing. Now I've got a choice between running people over and blowing up cars, or saying hello to my neighbours and talking about, I don't know, clothes. It's a no-brainer for me. But on console or PC, you have so much variety. You don't have to really pay this game much attention unless you are a die-hard GTA fan and you grew up maybe playing all three of the games and you haven't touched them in 15 years. And that's very much where I'm from. I haven't played any of these games in well over 15 years. And jumping back and finding out that I've remembered everything wrong, and that is just a nice little blast of nostalgia. I'm going in remembering vague bits, and for me it's nice because I haven't played them before. If you've played the GTA games when they were put up individually on shops, you might find that you don't like the new art style. You might find that some things annoy you. You might find that there are glitches that weren't there originally, and it's an annoying experience. So that's really going to be the double-edged sword. It's really good for the Switch. But when you're looking at consoles and PC, generally speaking, I do generally believe either wait for a harsh sale or give it a miss. Maybe if it is a Christmas present that you're looking for and a loved one or a friend, same thing really, love thy neighbor. Really into GTA, maybe get it for them. But I don't know, I don't really know how to feel about this game on console. I would not have bought this game for the PlayStation. As much as I'm enjoying it on the Switch, it does feel incredibly half-assed at times, and when you're just playing it in handheld mode, you're just running people over whilst watching YouTube, it's not too bad. But when you load up your console, load up your PC, and you boot the game up and you log in and you're playing it, and it's just it's underwhelming. I can imagine it being horrendously underwhelming for console and PC. For Switch, it's not too bad. I'm just playing GTA on the go. But when you're playing a console or a PC and you have so much better choices, so many better choices, maybe give this one a miss. And that's about it for the video, guys and girls. You know, I don't think I would pay full price for this game for a console other than Switch or PC, because at the end of the day it looks alright on Switch, because Switch is what it is, and it's just a glorified handheld. And although I do actually love the Switch, I wouldn't buy this for a console. I would not buy this for the PlayStation. I would not buy this for the Xbox. I would not buy this for PC. I'd just give it a miss, maybe go back to GTA 5. And that about wraps it up. I would not recommend this game for anything other than Switch, which feels kind of sad, feels quite lonely, feels quite hollow, it feels quite depressing. But that's about it. So if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe, comment. Generally speaking, I only really talk about books. I'd love to talk about gaming. The channel was originally going to be a gaming channel. I'd love to talk about games. But yeah, just tell me your thoughts in the comments, if you will, if you would like to. And hopefully I'll see you again. Until then, have a lovely life, have a lovely day, have a lovely night, have a lovely whatever. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.